second message in this series, Abiding in Jesus, is called Intimacy with Christ. Now, we're going to meditate on verses 3 to 8. If we look at it, there's a word that comes so frequently. Yes, the word fruit comes, but also the word abide. Abide, some translations have it as remain. What does it bring to your mind? What does it mean? Because this is a key word that around which this passage is talking about. So what is abide mean? Abide is to live in the atmosphere of. Just not remain passively, but live in the atmosphere of. For example, a fish abides in the water. It is at home in the water. It lives, it's free, and it is able to move around well. And so, like a bird abides in the air, it's living in the atmosphere of the air. It needs that. Now, if I take the fish out of the water and put it in the land, it'll die because it is not living in an atmosphere that it needs. And so it is with us. Abiding in Jesus. We need to have intimacy with Christ. No sin should come between us. Take a wine, any drink wine, and you'll find that what prevents the sap from reaching into the branches to produce that fruit? It is a disease, and in our lives it is sin. When we do something that is not obedient to God, that's not pleasing to God, then it blocks our intimacy with Christ, our connection with Jesus Christ. And so this whole passage is on that. He tells again and again and again, abide in me, remain in me, so that you can be fruitful, you can bear much fruit. And he goes on to say that neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. There's no fruit bearing if we do not abide in Christ. That is key. If we are not connected, if we are not intimate, if we are not united in Christ, then we are not fruit-bearing branches. Simple. Now there is one verse, and it also goes on to say that anyone does not remain in me or abide in me is like a branch that is thrown away and it withers, and such branches are picked up and thrown into the fire and burned. What an end to a promising beginning. We can start off well, thinking I want to walk with Christ, I want to abide in Christ, I want to be connected to Him. But then with all the pressure and the hustle and the bustle of life, we don't do that. We need to spend time. We need to give priority to what Jesus says in His Word, and as we respond in prayer. When you don't have that, then it is other things that crowd in, and we get disconnected from our source, Jesus Christ. There's one verse which is said to be the greatest prayer promise in the Bible, and that's in verse 7. Jesus says, if you abide in me, and my words abide in you, then you can ask what you want, and it shall be done to you. What a promise. But there are two conditions. You just can't take that latter part. You can ask whatever you want and it will be done to you, and claim whatever you want. It doesn't work. We have to abide in Him, and His words must abide in us. Abiding in Him means there must be no known, unconfessed sin in my life. Then I am connected to Him. I become intimate with Him, closely united to Him. And at that is abiding in Him. And His words must abide in us. His words is in the Word, Bible. We must read it. We must digest it, we must meditate upon it, we must make it ours, it must abide in us, remain in us, take root in us. We must be at home with whatever He says. Obedience, therefore, is very important to what His word says. And so it says, if you abide in me, and my words abide in you, then ask what you want, and it shall be done unto you. Great prayer promise. We are united, connected to the Most High, the Sovereign Lord, the King of Kings, the one who's in control of all things and the one who has all power. And He holds my life in His hands if we allow His words to abide. You see, then asking whatever you want. When we do that, when we are abiding in Him and His words abide in us, we will not ask, even ask what is not pleasing to Him and what is not obedient to His word. We will ask only what is in accordance to His will, what will glorify Him, and what will be pleasing Him. And that He will answer. Because in 1 John 4:15, John tells us that if we ask anything according to will, then we know that He hears us. And if we know that He hears us, He's already given that which we have asked for. Tremendous prayer connection with the Most High. Intimacy with Christ is what He welcomes us in our fellowship, in our discipleship of Him. May we know this rich benefits and blessings of being closely, intimately connected with Jesus Christ.